Coronavirus Diary, May the 1st, 2020. Today's readings, the Old Testament. Genesis 1, Then God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. And God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit, and you shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, and everything that has breath of life, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God finished the work which he had done. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. So God blessed the seventh day, and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all his work which he had done in creation. The last part of that was the early part of Genesis 2. The psalm for today, we celebrate St. Joseph the worker, a man who did honest labor, the foster father of Jesus. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. Thou turnest back man to the dust, and sayest, Turn back, O children of men. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past. So teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom. The gospel lesson is taken from Matthew 13. And coming to his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, so that they were astounded, and said, Where did this man get this wisdom and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? A bit of reflection on this lesson. It says very clearly in Genesis 1 that God gave to man dominion over the earth. Recently there was a reporter, someone who had despaired of mankind apparently, and he said that the worst thing in the Bible is that God gave dominion of this earth to man, and that that's some type of fallacy, and the planet doesn't belong to us at all. Well, the planet doesn't belong to us as a possession to be abused. We're stewards over what God gives us. And as your mother taught you, clean up your mess. So I don't think that that word dominion means that you're not responsible for what you do. So clean up your mess. Let's go to the gospel lesson. Jesus said astounding things. He did astounding things. He fed 5,000. He healed the sick. He raised the dead. He gave sight to the blind. And there he was in his hometown, and everybody said to him what they would say to you if you became famous and great in some way, and you came back to your hometown. They would say, Who is this guy? Is he really one of us? And don't let him get bigger than his britches. We know his mother, we know his father. His father's just a carpenter. But that also shows you about the economy of God. God has chosen the weak things of the world to shame the strong. And God has chosen the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. And Jesus, of all people who ever lived, was not someone who came mighty in name or mighty in rank. And yet, he's the Savior of the world. So the grace today is to know that God uses little things to show us what grace is.